line gave me the character, the person, to model myself after, the characters and the heroes of his books. And I grew up with that. And I grew up with that watching real heroes carrying it out on television called Apollo and Skylab and the astronauts. So I had real models. And then there was Captain Kirk. Getting the babes. For an adolescent, that was a driver right there, I'll tell you. And I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be those people. I wanted to model myself after those people, the right stuff. Because I believed it wasn't just a government attribute. You know, it was me. In fact, I didn't even realize any of that stuff at that point. I just wanted to have that stuff. And somewhere inside, I felt like, you know, maybe someday I'll have that stuff. I don't know if I do, but at least I get to hang around people who do now. And that's you. And so I grew up with that and ended up in that room in Princeton and with a group of other dreamers. And we toasted and we talked and we pledged our lives, our blood, and our sweat to making irreversible the human expansion into space in our lifetimes. There was a limit on it. We weren't passing it on to 5 administrations down the road. It was our lifetimes were going to be dedicated to this cause. And you know what? What staggers me, what stuns me about it is almost everybody that was in that room or at those events is still fighting this cause. You know, the dropout rate is almost zero. They're either involved, they come back in, they go out, whatever, but they're here and they're involved in a longer battle. Some of us do take time outs, that's what it was. But we come back in because we are invested in this cause. Because our hearts and our souls are invested in this cause. It is how we define ourselves. It is who we are. It is what we're about. And I don't think that's an accident. I can't explain it any more than I can offer you that business plan that closes in my heart. I can't explain it, but I know it's true. I don't know if it's buried in some little subparticle of my genetic makeup, but there's something in there that says this has to be done. It has to happen now. The time is right now, and these are the people to do it with. I can't explain it, but I'm here, and it feels exactly right. I don't know if you get that feeling, because I know, like I said, I can't explain it. I go home, and I go home to the holidays, and I go home and be around my family and people like that, and I can't explain it to them. I can show them a video, I can give my nephews posters and cool stuff like that, and they get it, but they don't have it. And I've heard somebody today, I was saying to somebody, well, why can't we, you keep talking about America and you keep talking about this group of people, et cetera, and shouldn't we wait and make sure that, everybody is on the planet is up to a certain level before we start reaching for another one? No. Because if we had to wait that long, we wouldn't go anywhere. If whoever it was that ventured out of that valley, that Zinjanthropus, or whoever it was that ventured out of that first valley, waited for everybody else in the valley to get that feeling to wander out of the valley, we'd still be in that valley. If everybody in Europe had waited for everybody in Europe to achieve a certain level of intellectual capability or ability to read or realizing that there was more beyond the valley, the 3 miles from their village, and we all waited for that, we wouldn't have left there. Somebody has to do it. And somebody always does. And now we've made it to this point in time, and we've made it through this point in history. And I know some of you have heard me say this before, but it just blows my mind, and so I'll just keep repeating it until we succeed. But we've made it through this point in history where we have the capability to completely and utterly destroy ourselves at the push of a button or the cracking of a test tube. And here we are, about to break loose and break out, right now. And then you go out of your room, and out of this room, and you go back to your hotel room, and you turn on the TV, And then you see the news from Washington that argues against the existence of sentient life on our planet. Yeah, and then you wonder, what the hell am I doing spreading this around? But I got to tell you, it's an amazing thing that we're doing. It's amazing what you people do. I'm just a kid who grew up, an Air Force kid, son of a sergeant. Dropped out of college because I thought I was smarter than my teachers, and I kept storming out of the classrooms. And I get to hang out with you. I have the honor and the privilege of spending my life in service to you and sharing your service to the species of which you're a part. And they don't appreciate it, nor will they. But we know what it's about. We know what it's for, and we know who we are. The tipping point for human society is occurring right now. And I know our friends over at the Serendipity University, Singularity University. Oops, we made that happen. No, I'm just kidding. I know they think that we're all going to merge together and become disembodied robot brains. But I'm a humanist. And I want this fallible body, and I want to carry it on, and I want it to live as long as possible, and I want to experience this breakout. So it is our time. It is your time. I want to thank you so much for being here. It is, again, my privilege and my honor to be in your company. I hope you come back next year. I hope you tell your friends, even those of you who I may have offended. Come back. Depends on how masochistic you are. Come back. The time is happening right now. In the next 4 or 5 years, magnificent things are going to start to happen. And you're a part of it. You made it happen. And I don't care whether this is your first conference. I don't care whether you're in the middle of college and you've just staggered into this room and you're going, who the hell are these people? I know, I've seen the look on some of the eyes of people here. But you're here, and you're amongst friends, and you're amongst your family. And the family of humanity is depending on you to do your job. So welcome to NewSpace 2011. I salute you.
Hi, everyone. Now to present the award, we're going to start the award ceremony right now. Now to present the award for the Vision of Future is John Card, Treasurer of the Space Frontier Foundation. Thank you.
So, I need to clarify something first. The Space Frontier Foundation does not endorse a vision of the Earth paying tribute to imperialistic hordes of alien overlords. Additionally, as a former resident of Ospey, New Hampshire, I have to clarify, I did not nominate Live Free or Die because my hometown becomes the economic center of the galaxy. But it was nice. When I first read Live Free or Die, my first reaction was to assume that John Ringo was one of us. I went so far. I'm treasurer. I have some access. I checked our donor database just to make sure before I made a big deal about it. He tells a story that in the face of adversity, on a very grand scale, a single entrepreneur, in the context of a reasonably free market in the United States, is empowered to solve large problems through his own initiative. Mr. Ringo brings an insight that social structures matter, that the way an industry is structured, contracted, sold, and purchased can make irrelevant the good work of capable people, and he demonstrates the real problems that the Foundation is dedicated to solving. John Ringo, veteran of the 82nd Airborne, student of marine biology, database specialist, and general polymath, is one of the most prolific writers in science fiction with 34 books since 1999 and 7 appearances on the New York Times bestseller list. He is awarded the Foundation's Vision of the Future Award this year for showing us the kind of world we could have if we can resolve in times of peace the kinds of social structure problems it took a great war to solve in fiction. The Foundation believes in the real world it will only take great vision.
Okay, real quick Star Wars reference. Because face it, we are the Sand People. Heinlein, Clark, Asimov, all of the above. But what really taught me about space was that in 1971, my father was transferred to Orlando, Florida, to work on Disney World, back when that was a swamp. And shortly after we were transferred down there, well, my mom bought a house on a lake in Winter Park, Florida, that faced east. And shortly after we transferred down there, there was an Apollo launch. We were 70 miles away, approximately the distance, I'm told, from here to Sacramento, thereabouts. And we went out and we were like, are we going to be able to see anything? Sound travels faster through the land than it does through the air. On the word of the launch from the TV, the ground began to rumble. The surface of the lake jittered. And in the east, a new sun rose to go to the moon. It happened to be 13, but we'll skip that part. I was back there for my last couple of years of high school. My dad was a civil engineer, so we traveled a lot. And I was back there for the last couple of years of high school. We moved there in 1979, so I was there for the first shuttle launch. We went over to Cape Canaveral, and then a few hours later, we drove home. And we went back. We drove home. We again had a house that faced east, this time on a golf course. And so when it finally went up, I went out and waited for the earth-shaking rumble. Where's the earth-shattering kaboom? Did it launch? Yeah, it launched. Okay. I know that you don't need a giant rocket to get back into space, seriously, to go forth. Smaller rockets, refueling, using the stuff that's in space. But yes, I was born two things, a believer in space and a Republican. But we can go forth. We can do it. And if we're going to do it, it's going to be this group. Last thing I will say is, you were talking about belief. Quantum physics now proves to us that you can change reality at the quantum level through belief, and belief alone. Hold hard to this vision, and we will raise a new sun.
Thank you, John. Now to present the award for the best presentation of space is Liz Kennick, Space Frontier Foundation board member and host of New York City's Yuri's Night. Thank you.
567 events in 75 countries, on 7 continents, in 3 worlds, 1 vision. This is Yuri's Night. Founded in 2001 by Loretta Hidalgo and George Whitesides, Yuri's Night has consistently delivered on its promise to inspire a new generation to come together, to dream, to explore, and to celebrate humanity's achievements in the past and in the future in space. Team members from Yuri's Night have gone on to become co-founders of Astronauts for Hire, board members of the Space Frontier Foundation, committee co-chairs of the National Space Society, flight director for Zero Gravity, and CEO of Virgin Galactic. More than just a party, Yuri's Night events have featured live performances, interactive art and science installations, podcasts, videos, live stream, and this year in 2011, the live broadcast from the International Space Station of the astronauts in their Yuri's Night t-shirts drew more than 16,000 hits. So it is my great pleasure tonight to present the award for the best presentation of NewSpace to my teammates. And by video joining us tonight, we have Dr. Ryan Kubrick, who is now the executive director of Yuri's Night, and here to accept the award on his behalf, Bryce Russ, assistant director of Yuri's Night.
Hello, friends, colleagues, and that guy sitting in the back. I'm the Yuri's Night Executive Director, Ryan Kubrick, and on behalf of the entire Yuri's Night Executive for the past 11 years, I'm proud to accept the Space Frontier Foundation's award for Best Presentation of Space. Ever since I went to the Las Vegas conference back in '06, I've been watching amazing people win these awards, and it really means a lot to me and to our executive to be a part of that tradition and have our name along with all those other great people in the space industry. I'll leave it to Bryce to now say the rest of our thank yous, but have a terrific time at the conference, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks. Space.
Yeah. I guess so. So we'll hopefully get this working in a second, but while we're waiting for this to happen, I do want to thank Liz and both the Space Frontier Foundation as a whole for recognizing Yuri's Night's efforts to bring together space enthusiasts, scientists, educators, and the general public in celebrating humanity's past and our future in space. We've been talking a lot this weekend about the importance of public outreach and of, educating the public and showing the public that space exploration, both as a cause and as an industry, is still very much alive and kicking. And, false hope there for a second. And this has been, this passion for educating the public about space exploration has been the goal of Yuri's Night for, as Liz was saying, more than 10 years now. We just finished celebrating last April the 50th anniversary of human spaceflight, started on April 12th, 1961, of course, with Yuri Gagarin, who Yuri's Night is named after. And we're doing some great things for 2012. We're currently in the process of finalizing our global team for 2012, who's going to organize the radio science events all around the world. It's an all-star cast. It's going to be fantastic. So even though we had the 50th anniversary, which is a big anniversary last year, we're only looking for bigger and better things in the future. So we'd like to thank our co-founders, of course, George and Loretta Whitesides. We'd like to thank our sponsors for this year, Richard Garriott, the Musk Foundation, Open Luna, Space Travelers, as well as all of our space affiliates, partners, and sponsors from previous years, including, of course, again, the Space Frontier Foundation. Most importantly, though, we'd like to make sure to thank everyone out there who's hosted a Yuri's Night event, volunteered at a Yuri's Night party, or even just went to a Yuri's Night event or watched us on our global webcast on Spacevidcast. Ryan and I are very happy to accept this award. Maybe Ryan in a little bit, we'll see. But without the hundreds and thousands of volunteers all around the world who are helping to create Yuri's Night in their own local hometowns and cities, this event would be nothing. So we want to thank everyone once again and say that we're certainly looking forward to hopefully seeing most of you at Yuri's Night 2012 next April as we continue to rock the planet. Thank you very much.
That's okay. Take initiative all you want. I'm taking initiative now. So we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll get that video up and running soon. But now we're going to move on, and now to present the NewSpace Journalism Award is Jim Muncie, co-founder of the Space Frontier Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. I guess I just thought I had to run up here and get started. One of the first people I met in the space community back in 1981, outside of Washington, D.C., was a young aerospace engineer working at the time for, I think it was the Aerospace Corporation. He later went on to work at Rockwell. And still is an occasional aerospace engineer working as a consultant. But most of us know him as a writer, as a very sharp-tongued writer with a poison pen. And normally we think of journalism as written words or perhaps presented words. But never has he been so devastating in his writing as when he has attached words to little furry animated creatures in Extra Normal on YouTube. To award this year's NewSpace Journalism Award, I'd like to invite Rand Simberg to come up to the dais. I have no idea whether or not we're going to be able to show you the products that earned him this award.
Well, I don't either. I'm just glad I didn't have to directly follow John Ringo. That's all I can say. When James Pira called me and told me I won this award, my immediate thought was, this is the greatest injustice in the universe, because the people who really deserve to win this award should be the ones to accept it. And I went out of my way to make sure that would happen, but now I'm not sure that's going to happen because we need to have them come on to do that.
Furiously looking at a computer back there.
But in the meantime, I will say that I'm very grateful for the award, regardless. And first of all, I want to thank the most important person, who is my darling Patricia, who has sacrificed so much for so long to make sure that I could do this kind of thing. And I probably didn't deserve it. And she should stand here so everybody can no, she doesn't want to stand. Because you're among friends. These are our friends. Mostly.
Well, you skewered all of us at some point or another. So.
Yes, and there's going to be more skewering to come if we ever see the video. But and I can't do my Jon Stewart thing if we don't have the video. Oh, yeah. What? No, false alarm. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. Now, do we have audio? We don't have audio.
Penetrating, perspicacious and educational discussion of space policy and technology over the past few months.
Well, it is an honor just to be nominated.
I was actually hoping for an award for Best Period Costumes.
Fat chance of that, considering how trimsy that skinflint Simberg is with the wardrobe budget. Not to mention special effects, or voice coaches. Well, I know what I'm going to do.
We've won an award.
Yes, it is very exciting.
What is the award for?
It is sort of an award for our penetrating, perspicacious and educational discussion of space policy and technology over the past few months.
Well, it is an honor just to be nominated.
I was actually hoping for an award for Best Period Costumes.
Fat chance of that, considering how trimsy that skinflint Simberg is with the wardrobe budget. Not to mention special effects, or voice coaches. Well, I know what I'm going to do with my share of the prize money. I am going to buy myself a new pair of shorts. Maybe even a skirt. In fact, if I had known I'd be appearing before all these people tonight, I would have gotten myself a designer gown and matching tiara.
What do you mean by your share of the prize money?
There isn't prize money?
Well, there is. Sort of.
What does sort of mean?
Sort of means that there is prize money, but that we don't get it. It's kind of like how Congress authorizes money for launch systems, but doesn't actually appropriate the funds.
So who gets the prize money, if not us?
Simberg.
Why does he get our money?
The award is a journalism award. We are not members of the esteemed journalism profession, we are just lowly space policy and technology analysts.
But aren't journalists supposed to, write stuff?
Yes.
And doesn't Simberg write stuff about space policy and technology for Popular Mechanics, National Review, The New Atlantis, Pajamas Media, and other places?
Sometimes, yes.
So if he won a journalism award for all that, what do we have to do with it?
Apparently, he didn't win the award for that. He's been writing that third-rate crap for years. He won the award for recording our enlightened discussions and uploading them to the internet.
So he didn't get the award for writing? He got it for plagiarizing us.
So it would seem.
Isn't that a little ironic?
Some might say more than a little.
So you are saying that he has been exploiting us for his own personal gain? And we get bupkis?
Bupkis? What is this bupkis?
You never watched Dick Van Dyke? Or Seinfeld? It is a Yiddish word. It means quote, unquote, nothing.
No. Okay, yes. But not completely nothing. We get a great deal of fame. We get tens, maybe dozens of page views. Admittedly, most of them are from NASA and people who care about space. But some are from Capitol Hill. Though, again admittedly, most of them don't even understand what we were talking about. Anyway, apparently, some people don't believe that we are as knowledgeable about space policy and technology as we appear to be. They say that we are merely dumb actors, mindlessly mouthing the words of others. Some have even speculated that Jim Muncie may be involved.
Jim Muncie?
Slowly space policy and technology analysts.
But aren't journalists supposed to, write stuff?
Yes.
And doesn't Simberg write stuff about space policy and technology for Popular Mechanics, National Review, The New Atlantis, Pajamas Media, and other places?
Sometimes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So if he won a journalism award for all that, what do we have to do with it?
Apparently, he didn't win the award for that. He's been writing that third-rate crap for years. He won the award for recording our enlightened discussions and uploading them to the internet.
So he didn't get the award for writing? He got it for plagiarizing us.
So it would seem.
Isn't that a little ironic?
Some might say more than a little.
So you are saying that he has been exploiting us for his own personal gain? And we get bupkis?
Bupkis? What is this bupkis?
You never watched Dick Van Dyke? Or Seinfeld? It is a Yiddish word. It means quote, unquote, nothing.
No. Okay, yes. But not completely nothing. We get a great deal of fame.
That's
we
right.
get tens, maybe dozens of page views. Admittedly, most of them are from NASA and people who care about space. But some are from Capitol Hill. Though, again admittedly, most of them don't even understand what we were talking about. Anyway, apparently, some people don't believe that we are as knowledgeable about space policy and technology as we appear to be. They say that we are merely dumb actors, mindlessly mouthing the words of others. Some have even speculated that Jim Munsey may be involved.
Jim Munsey? What does Jim Munsey know about space policy? That is even more ludicrous than thinking that Simberg writes this stuff. Has Simberg ever claimed to write our dialogues?
Not that I know of.
Just look at him. He looks like he's got all the cerebral propensity of a lobotomized fern. He's just a journalist.
Actually, I think he denies being a journalist, too. Except when he's trying to scam his way into space conferences for free.
Then why would anyone think such a crazy thing?
I can only tell you what they say.
Who is the they who says these things? Can we sue them for defamation?
In addition to not funding our wardrobes properly, Simberg doesn't have a legal budget, either.
Maybe we should go on strike. Why should we do all the hard work and thought, while Simberg gets the riches and the glory?
And the women. Do not forget all the women he gets. Everyone knows about the aphrodisiacal power of space policy, and what a turn-on it is.
Well, I've had enough of being his cyber slave. If he thinks he can write these things without us, he's welcome to try, because he's not getting any more help from me. He can take the award and shove it up his rocket nozzle. Sideways.
Are there any rocket scientists in the room who can suggest a materials-compatible lubricant for that procedure? Anyway, I'm very grateful for the award. I'm happy to be given it by all these people I've known for so long and orbited with for so long. I'm not an advocate, but that's only because I don't want to join an organization that would have somebody like me as a member.
Thank you, Rand. Now to present the award for service to the Foundation is James Pura, Assistant Chair and Director of the Space Frontier Foundation.
So I'm going to leave the awards over on that table because there's two of them this year, which is, as far as I understand it, a first. I met these two guys at NewSpace 2009, actually up the freeway at NASA Ames. They pulled me aside and asked me to do an interview. I did a quick 3 to 5 minute thing about why I liked NewSpace, and I really thought nothing of it. Little did I know that they were not only going to become a couple of my best friends, but also get the foundation message out in a way that had never been done before. If you chose one word to describe these two guys, it would be rare. They're the kind of people that no matter what industry they chose to work in, I'm confident that they would completely revolutionize it. We are so incredibly lucky that they chose space, or how they would probably like to think about it, space chose them. For those of you that don't know, the foundation has about 250 advocates who are chosen by the board of directors every single year. Ask any one of us, and you know that it's an honor just to get the pin and to be called up on stage. The fact is, Kyle and Ryan have both stood head and shoulders above the rest of us, and in the past year have put together 2 incredibly important videos, both Space for the People and The Future in Space. The first video, Space for the People, was actually put together last minute when we were fighting Congress, when they were trying to essentially ruin NASA's budget. The video we made supported President Obama's vision that he announced for the future of NASA and was so incredibly inspiring, the video was so incredibly inspiring, that I'd like to think that it helped us turn the Foundation's vision from words on our website into thoughts in the minds of Congress. When I was at their studio in Santa Monica working on Space for the People, there was another guy running around the studio who I found out later was the main editor for South Park. When I asked Kyle about it, he was like, "What, Keith? Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude." And then another time I peeked into another room in their studio where they were working on a video for Brandon Boyd, who, if you don't know, is the lead singer of the rock band Incubus. Then this morning, I called Ryan to see where they were because they were late. And he said that they were busy working on a video for the band Rage Against the Machine, since they had a concert actually happening tonight, the same night as the Gala. So if you haven't figured it out yet, these 2 guys are very much our in-house rock stars. So I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. I'd like to show you their latest creation, which it's a poem by the Foundation's founder, Rick Tumlinson, produced by Kyle and Ryan, also known as NewSpace Media Productions.
Dear men from the planet Earth, first step foot upon the moon, July 1969.
Upon tranquility we shall stand, Apollo's children, hand in hand, and walk the calm and silent sands where once our fathers stood. The greatest fruits of human minds, their words still wait for us to find. They came in peace for all mankind when none believed they could. A shining plaque still gives their names, a flag still waves where once they came. The valor of those it still proclaims who rode on flaming towers. Each tiny step a giant leap. They blazed a path both hard and steep. Their spirit is now for us to keep, and their dream shall give us power. 1 million or more who sweat and toil did forge the chariot from Terran soil, each one of them sending their spirit aloft, each one a part of the story. Hope in their spirit, stars in their eyes, giving sweat and blood to crack the skies, so that we all might stand on Luna's peaks and bathe 'neath old Earth's glory. And here at last we shall relive the sight, as they who climbed into eternal night. And now we know that they were right, as their fire lights our hearts, not for war, nor greed, nor tired hate. In wonder they opened heaven's gates, a gift of hope for a planet's fate, so that you and I could touch the stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present the 2011 Service to the Frontier Award to Kyle Schemper and Ryan Stewart.
Wow. It's such a privilege and honor to receive this as just enthusiasts that are so new to the foundation. And gotta thank the Space Frontier Foundation for just creating community where someone like me and Kyle can just come in and bring our creative ideas and stir it around with people who are insane beyond my abilities, you know, with their engineering skills and coming together with our media and art skills, and can put it into a room and blend it together and come up with something that's moving the foundation forward and moving the NewSpace vision forward, and that's what we need. So this is really, really cool for me. So I really have to thank James Pira and Rick Tomlinson especially for getting us in the door and just giving us really cool media projects, and we'll continue to do so, and all the founders. Robin Snelson has done some really great things for us at the Mojave Air and Spaceport. She's given us great footage and opened some doors and some doing great things. And also the volunteers, I think, have just been such a great blessing for all of us, and have brought their inspiration. They've traveled from all over the country to be here to help us out. And I've seen their energy, and it inspires me, and I know that what makes this whole thing move smoothly. And that's just, it's awesome. So, let's go to space.
I'm grateful that as a filmmaker and storyteller that our video is the video that worked. Thank you to the AV person for working that out. Props to them, because it's a painful position to be in that position. I've been in that position. It's not easy. We're very grateful and blessed, as he said, and first and foremost, we are storytellers. And as you know, we've delved into many different topics, but this is our favorite. And like Rick was talking about tonight, it's a passion. We feel it inside. And our mission, we're living proof that regular guys can come in and be an asset to this community, and that's what we intended to be. We are in servitude to all of you in this room to tell your story. That's what we do well. We're not technical guys, and we don't understand rocket science, but we aim to find out. And we'd like to speak to everyone in here, and it takes time. Ryan said to me, he was like, we've pitched shows, we've done all this stuff, and I said, he's like, I don't understand why we're getting this award. And I said, well, if there's any group of people that understands it takes a really long time to make something great happen, it's these people. They get that. And it's pushing a big rock up a hill, but we're going to help you push that rock up that hill because we want to get off the rock as well. And we're going to be the normal average guys that go to space with you. So thank you for that, and thank you for this.
Thanks, guys.
So I've been told Dr. Ryan Kubrick is ready to speak, and so we are going to hear from Yuri's Night once again. So to the AV team in the back, thank you very much.
Hello, friends, colleagues, and that guy sitting in the back. I'm the Yuri's Night Executive Director, Ryan Kubrick, and on behalf of the entire Yuri's Night Executive for the past 11 years, I'm proud to accept the Space Frontier Foundation's award for Best Presentation of Space. Ever since I went to the Las Vegas conference back in '06, I've been watching amazing people win these awards, and it really means a lot to me and to our executive to be a part of that tradition and have our name along with all those other great people in the space industry. I'll leave it to Bryce to now say the rest of our thank yous, but have a terrific time at the conference, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks, Space. I'd like to thank the Academy for this award. What? That's not this?
Thank you, Bryce and Ryan. Now to present the award for Vision to Reality is Bruce Pittman, our very own NewSpace Conference Programming Manager. Thank you.
Wow, this is quite a night. We stand here in the center of, San Jose tries to call itself the capital of Silicon Valley. So, we are in the heart of Nerdsville here.
And there's a lot of people that have tried a lot of great things. But normal entrepreneurs pale to insignificance compared to space entrepreneurs. You know, as they said in The American President, you've got to want it real bad. A lot of people have tried to do what the award winners here have done, and that is to reduce the cost of putting experiments in space. And many people have tried. Some people have come close. Many have crashed and burned. But the NanoRacks folks have succeeded beyond all expectations. And it is a true pleasure and privilege to present this honor to Jeff Manbar and the entire NanoRacks team for what they've done to be able to reduce the price of getting an experiment on orbit. Not just, some rinky-dink little thing, but an experiment, a NanoRack on orbit for 30 days, including transportation, including data, for the price point that they've been able to do is a truly remarkable event. And I think it is truly a turning point for the entire entrepreneurial space community. And I hope that they have much success in the future. And it is a true honor to give Jeff this award and the entire team that they put together. Jeff?
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody. It's really nice to come back here. I come here every few years and recalibrate where we are in the industry and where I am and what's going on. And I have to say it's wonderful to accept this award on behalf of everyone at NanoRacks, who we've been quietly but working our butts off for 2 years to be the first company in the world to design, develop, market, and have operational a commercial space laboratory on the International Space Station. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And our motto, in case you don't know, is space for everyone. And I have to tell you that right now we're so proud that we have over 50 payloads in the queue. We've flown, 30 payloads by now. On 134, we flew 16 school districts with our educational partner, NCESSE. We flew 11 school districts on 135. They paid, you have to talk about money, they paid $18,500 for a space project, and NASA tells us it's the first time in history that there's been a national space STEM project with no NASA funding. I mean, yeah, I mean, so. And we're obsessed on costs. In fact, we're lowering our cost even more. And one of the reasons why is we want to get ready for when there's true international competition, and we want to be the best and at the lowest cost. And so, one other thing to say, it's really nice to come back here. I somehow never seem to get out of the orbit of the Space Frontier Foundation. And in many ways, this award, and NanoRacks, is your award, and NanoRacks is your company. Because this company was really created, and the idea came from Space Frontier Foundation, and two people in particular, and I want to recognize them tonight. The first is David Anderman, and the second is Charles Miller, if you'll stand up. Charles, and yeah, cheers. And it was just about 2 years ago that Charles and David called me and said, we got this simple idea. Don't worry, it's really simple. You can just fly these standardized payloads. And I was, again, brought back in and suckered into doing something in entrepreneurial space. But, and Charles wanted me to say that the communication ended once he joined NASA. So he wanted me to say that. So. Or his lawyer wanted me to say that. But seriously, again, it shows, the value of what you do here. And I'm really doubly and triply proud that this is the Vision to Reality Award, because at NanoRacks, we believe There comes a time for vision, and there comes a time when reality, when it hits the road, and we're doing it. And we've flown Israeli stem cell and cancer projects. We're flying all sorts of things. Our average educational price tag is about $21,000 for 30 days on the station. Commercial's been averaging $47,000, and the future's going to be bright. And if we can do it on the station, if we can do it with NASA, as much as I love you guys, the new NASA, if we can do it with NASA and we can do it on the space station, we can do it on any space station, any platform. And I look forward to working with the Space Frontier Foundation as we move into other stations and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you everyone who works at NanoRacks. We now have a pretty good surprise. It was a surprise kept from pretty much everyone, including the executive director and the Gala award managers, until yesterday, which gave some of us a little heart attack. But here are your three founders of the Space Frontier Foundation to give a special awards.
I guess this is a little bit in the theme of the Godfather music from earlier. Yeah, this is actually more Blues Brothers. Every few years, the founders decide that we want to acknowledge someone or some group of people or some organization that has made an incredible contribution to the foundation. Its growth, its emergence, its success. And we gave it to the son of Gerard O'Neill one year, gave it to Dr. Tom Rogers. We've given it to entrepreneurs who have been very successful and gave a lot of their money to us to help us through various years, Walt Anderson, Gary Hudson, and others. But this year, we decided there was something else that had been going on inside the foundation in the last few years that we are just tickled pink about. Any of you who are parents, and I know, Tiffany, you don't qualify for this. Sorry, private joke from this afternoon session. Letting your kid go, letting your baby go is really tough. And it was 23 years ago that the three of us first got together in New York. I thought this guy was a jerk. He still is. But he grew on me, like a fungus, okay? And this one I've known since '83. I've known this guy for almost 30 years, okay? And we decided to set up a group because we were stupid. And here we are. Still. But we decided a few years ago that it was time to give this organization away and to bring in new people. And there were two people that we brought in, Jeff Feige and other young people helped us bring them in, who have transformed this organization completely. They've transformed the conference, they've transformed our web presence, they've transformed almost everything this organization does. And so tonight we would like to give the Founders Award to Ryan McClinko and James Pura. If you could come up, please.
Do you mind if I? All right. I don't deserve this award. I don't deserve this award because everything that Ryan and I have done is basically what was set in front of us that said, hey, look, this is a problem, we need you to solve it. And that those problems were, not enough people understand what we're trying to do here. Not enough people understand what the conference is all about. Not enough people understand what the foundation and the movement is all about. And we basically just blitzkrieged all of you guys so that you finally understood it. And we tried to make the conference shinier, and we tried to make the website shinier. We basically just put polish on everything that we could. And I guess this is an award for operational technical execution. But thank you. Anyway.
Pretty much echo what James was saying, that, I'd say that this is probably more than anything else just a matter of kind of pulling together a really good team for really bringing the conference together. As you guys have seen, we've had a huge team here of volunteers throughout the conference, and this has been mentioned by a lot of other people here too. But the managers that we have in the back for the conference, it doesn't happen without them. You guys can stand up, managers.
That's right. Just so you all know, yes. We have a team of volunteers that are amazing. No conference happens, no NewSpace conference happens without a team of 40-plus volunteers, and that happens every year, and each one of them is vastly important, crucial. So, this is you. This is you guys. This is yours. Thank you. We're just taking the credit for it.
So next, we're going to move on to a new portion of the gala. It's a new competition called We Are Space Video Competition, and the manager of the competition was Sarah Meshberger. So she will be coming up here to present the award winner for that competition. Thank you, Sarah.
All right, I'm short. On behalf of SEDS USA and the Space Frontier Foundation and Spacevidcast, I would like to present the award for the We Are Space video competition. The competition asks the competitors to answer the question, how is emerging low-cost access to space change both the governmental role as well as the ordinary citizen's role in our future of space. And so I would like to show you the winning video. So if we could please play that, hopefully it'll work.
Yes, final frontier. Yes, space is final frontier. And drive technology sea rise are not reality at this time. Space travel is becoming more feasible and potentially more profitable. The question, however,
I just recently, along with most Americans, wrote the government a big fat check. Because that's what life is. Nothing is certain except for death and taxes.
The greatest benefits to having access to space is the resultant access to previously unavailable resources, all of which can support a growing extraterrestrial population. Approximately 8% of asteroids are metallic in composition, containing large amounts of iron and nickel ores. By harvesting these resources, residents of space colonies could become practically independent of their mother planet. Billions of dollars a year in fuel costs could be saved by not having to follow the conventional space economic model of manufacturing space infrastructure on Earth and then spending the big bucks to haul it into orbit. In addition, as space travel itself becomes cheaper, people will be more inclined to immigrate to space colonies. In effect, this creates a space-age, decentralized economic system where colonies are self-sufficient, nearly independent settlements. As space flights become more frequent, so does the rate at which we consume finite resources. Each trip to the International Space Station currently requires 500,000 gallons of liquid hydrogen and oxygen fuel. As supply dwindles and launches increase in frequency, alternative sources of propulsion need to be found. This will spur the growth of a whole new industry, which revolves around the development of renewable and abundant technologies. In the short run, corporations will build spacecraft and space-related structures on Earth, which gives jobs to everyday citizens and encourages innovation. In the long run, however, these technologies developed on Earth can be implemented elsewhere and proliferated. The future success of space programs depends on the continued support of government agencies and industry leaders. In the end, advances in technology, economics, and philosophy will transform science fiction into science fact.
On behalf of Zach Pace from the University of Buffalo, Dan Pastiff will be accepting the award for the winner of the We Are Space video competition. So if Dan Pastiff can please come up to the front, that would be awesome. Thank you. Thank you for all who have participated and for Dan Pastiff to come up here for Zach Pace, and congratulations to Zach Pace from the University of Buffalo. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Now we're going to present a very big award, and five finalists and 3 award winners, and that the person running that is Tom Olson. So please come up, Tom. Thank you very much.
I have to admit, I found it mildly entertaining, given the previous events of the evening, that a couple of days ago, one of my fine associates, Joel Venus, for whose views I will take full unearned credit, sat amidst the finalists at the boot camp, and when advising them on how to put together their slide decks to show potential investors, he said one thing very, very, very vehemently to them. He said, "No video." No video. If the foundation is about anything, it's about entrepreneurship. This is something we support and we really nurture. And it's only natural that this organization will support a business plan competition of this nature. And this year we had the opportunity to make it bigger and better than ever. But I gotta tell you, honestly, about 8 weeks ago, I was scared to death because I was handed this thing. And we weren't sure if we were going to have all the money yet. And as Charles Miller told me earlier today, yes, we threw your fat into the fire. Not quite enough, but close. But in 7-8 weeks, we put together a team. We got our funding. We got it all done, and we got it together. And we were in a position. We were standing out there. It felt like we were standing out in a building way out there somewhere, just waving a flag, saying, "We're here. We're here. Come see us." And by God, we had 36 intents to compete filed in that short amount of time. We had 25 entries of executive summaries, and from that we gleaned 5 really outstanding finalists, and they're here with us today. Before I move on, I want to give just a quick shout out to a few of the people that really helped make this possible. It was a huge team that made this happen. And I want to thank especially our judges, Sandra Mahoney, Steve Goldberg, Hoyt Davidson, Amarish Kolapara, and Leah Ott for doing such a tremendous job, consummate professionals in their fields, for being judges for this program. I also want to thank our coaches for the boot camp event, Bob Werb, Amarish Kolapara, Liz Kennick, Shubber Lee, and David Livingston, who are here with us. But in getting this done at the last second, there was a lot of other fires that needed to be put out constantly all the time. I was running around. Even today, I was running around. I didn't get a lot of chance to enjoy as much of the conference as some of you. But I wanted to just include some people from the conference staff who were very, very helpful to us in making all this happen. Sarah Meshberger, Brian Young, Alicia Boynton, Will Watson, James Pura, and Gary Marks. Thank you very much for all the help that you gave us for making this thing happen. And of course, again, without Team Exodus, it wouldn't have been possible. Of course, I've already mentioned Joel Venus. He did a lot of amazing things, not only with technology, but just running around and shepherding people and getting things done and helping solve problems and having a very inventive talent. Thank you, Joel. And of course, the person who really made the who made the boot camp happen and just organized that whole thing and just ran it solidly. She's our rock. She's our anchor. The incomparable Liz Kennick. Now, in judging the competition, it was very, very difficult, of course. We had some really outstanding presenters. A lot of you saw the presentations. You'd be amazed, I think, the difference between what happened during the boot camp and what happened yesterday. It was like night and day. They all came off very, very well, and made the judges' decisions very, very difficult. And I asked the judges to share at the end, after they made a decision, how they got there and what some of the reasons, one of the things they looked for. And they wrote something I thought was just really so eloquent that I cannot add to this myself. I'm just going to share it with you directly. This is written on behalf of all the judges, and Steve Goldberg did most of it, and Amarish Kolapara did some of the writing as well. And let me just repeat this to you. First, the judges would like to thank all of the participants of the business plan competition. It was a professionally planned and well-executed event, and we're proud to be a part of it. The 5 judges all agreed to a set of 6 objective criteria by which each of the companies would be measured. Each judge independently scored each company based on these criteria. After all these secret voting was completed, the judges then worked together to tally the results. The 6 categories by which the contestants were judged were the management and team, NewSpace relevance, market opportunity, execution plan and product development, investability, and the overall quality of their presentation. So before announcing the winners, we would first like to provide a quick summary of our thoughts regarding each of the finalists. I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. Altia Space Machines, well-executed product plan, solid management team, very relevant space application. Celestial Circuits, well-defined market opportunity, low-risk financial outcome, relevant space application. Final Frontier Design, well-matched management team, high space relevance, good execution, good presentation. NewSpace Publishing, relevant space content, clear product execution plan. And Solar Flare, big market opportunity, investable plan, very good presentation. All of the companies were excellent, and judges truly believe that all 5 companies have a positive future. The scores were extremely close, and just a handful of points separated the teams. So without further ado, let me introduce the 3rd place winner of our NewSpace 2011 Business Plan Competition, and a check for $2,500 courtesy of our grant from NASA. And that is Final Frontier Design. Ted Southern.
Did you say that?
Sure.
30 seconds. Yeah, 30
Okay.
seconds.
Thank you very much. I'm really proud to be here. Just a quick aside, I actually got married 6 days ago for the first time, 130 people at my wedding. So thanks for making my honeymoon. I really appreciate that. And I'm really looking forward to a future relationship with this crowd. I'm glad that I found you guys, and I'm proud to be here. So thank you so much.
Our second place winner, who also receives a check for $5,000 courtesy of the Highline Prize Trust, which has always been a huge patron and benefactor of this competition for many, many years. Thanks again to our doula and all those at Highline Prize Trust who make this happen. Our second place winner, Celestial Circuits.
Well, we're honored to be here and would like to thank the Foundation and NASA and everybody else and Highline Foundation for providing the prizes, and Jeffrey Manber for making the opportunity that allows us to have a business plan to work against, as being able to fly makes a big difference. I'm counting on you.
I was in that room with Rick and the kids back at Princeton. That room happened to be a bar, but we won't necessarily go into that. Those of you who know me know that I've spent most of my career about 10 years ahead of my time between LunaCorp, MirrorCorp, and a number of other projects that I've tried to nurture along the way, and I can just tell you how happy I am to actually be in the right place at the right time and have the opportunity to help Steve move along. Steve and I have worked together in a number of different facets over the years, almost 25 years, mainly in the software development area. I've always tried to bring him into the space biz, and I introduced him to Jeff a number of years ago, and it's just really exciting to be at a time where we can really have an impact through NanoRacks and all the way back down to do some great STEM education stuff. I'm just really excited about this, our future. Thank you.
Our first place winner of the grand prize made an interesting aside comment to an associate of mine yesterday. He said that he found our boot camp on Thursday to be unfortunately useful. And he said that obviously because he knew he was going to have to burn the midnight oil to do a lot of changes to the slideshow and the presentation in order to have the best effect. And on that note, I will introduce the winner of the NewSpace 2011 Business Plan Competition, Altius Space Machines. John Goff, ladies and gentlemen.
So, just wanted to thank all the people who made this possible. Wanted to, well, they're all the three of you standing up here. I wanted to also especially thank our coach during the boot camp, Shabra Lee. Very, very useful input, and I was really impressed when I found out that, he came to the boot camp right in the middle of moving his family across country. That's a lot of dedication. I wanted to also, thank my wife and my family and the families of all of my other team members for being very patient with us over the last several months, and want to thank all of you, for all the support, that encouragement, and everything else that I've gotten from so many of you in this group. And wow, we got a lot of work ahead of ourselves, but thank you very much.
This has been an amazing experience for all of us, and it's not over yet. We're already starting meetings to make sure we have a really good competition next year. Wait for announcements in the coming weeks. I think we're going to make it bigger and better than ever. And stay tuned. Thanks so much.
Bill, Colin, come on up.
Bring your checks.
The stage is big enough for me.
Dueling checks.
So there's one last check.
Well, you're tall. Tall check. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You're tall.
Please get up.
Yep.
And the last check, way in the air.
There you go.
Put it on my head.
There you go.